Hey, how's it going everyone here with, well, not only the brand new Jujutsu Kaisen Suguru Geto S.H Figuarts, but also a new setup. Testing it out. I've got some guests visiting at the moment, so I can't use my usual setup. So giving this a try, let me know in the comments below what you think, if it's nice or not, or if it's too distracting with the other figures in the background or reflections or anything like that. Bit of a kind of, I guess, a hit and miss trial learning experience here today. So I'll take your feedback and try and improve it for the future. But yeah, this is the brand new Jujutsu Kaisen figure. As I mentioned, we have a new Tamashii Nation quality seal sticker on the box as well, so it's gone from a big one down to a small one, which is actually quite nice, though it does kind of lack that nice kind of reflective 90s feel to it. If we swing around to the back here, we do have a nice selection of images showcasing the figure, and it's really surprising. This is a figure that I didn't expect to be good. Well, I shouldn't say that. I thought it was going to be average. Not great articulation or anything like that, but it actually kind of blew my mind how good it is. So we'll get him out of the box now, check out what he comes with, and then we can jump into the articulation and all that good stuff. So we've got Geto himself in the centre here, and we've got three additional faces. We've got the more neutral smirk, a little bit more of a extreme smile there, the the evil, maniacal, kind of evil grin going on with the eyes shut, and just with looking to the side, a little bit more of a neutral look. So a decent selection there. We've been called to have one made with a mouth open screaming. I think that is the only face that I feel is kind of missing from this release. And on the top right here we have the flowing wind swept here, which is cool. So there is a bag that can switch on and off. I feel like it's probably something to be quite careful with this figure. Kind of, if you're into the Dragon Ball Z line, Yamcha had that here as well, and that peg is something that did break for a lot of people. I'm not sure what this one's going to be like, but I suspect it'll be a delicate point for the figure overall, so do be careful there. Now jumping into the hands, we have the finger spread, the one holding the, the cursed energy that's been compressed, the kind of, what's that, spread fingers, kind of about to do an attack look, and then we've got two hands for holding onto the weapon here, which is the Playful Cloud. I'm pretty sure that's the correct name. Do let me know in the comments below if I did get that wrong. But one thing I was really surprised, it does have metal chains on the end there, which is fantastic. Really cool weapon. Now, definitely glad we got it with this figure. Okay, spinning on the turntable here, and yeah, basically the lower half, the center wrap here, this is all soft plastic or soft rubber, kind of like a silicon cooking mat. If you've ever used one of those, I think it's Silpat. If you've used one of those before, that's basically what it feels like. It's super thin and flexible, which is fantastic since it doesn't hinder the articulation at all. We've got a nice colour separation for the yellow and green, and then the dark navy blue. Same as basically what we got on the Yuji Nobara as well. Basically all the original figures, because it is that Jujutsu High uniform colour. Again, on the Geto down here, the colour separation is nice with the brown, the white, and then the lighter tan colour. The skin tones is pretty natural and does mix and match pretty well. He is a little bit more softer on the tones compared to, say, Yuta here, who I have also, who is a little bit more peachy, has a bit more of that lively colour to him, whereas Geto is a little bit more on the paler side, kind of like the original Gojo release. Yeah, all the colouring over here, I mean, it's just base, straight out of mould, matte colour, so nothing too spectacular for the overall weathering on this figure, though everything is crisp and clean that I can see so far. So yeah, and yeah, I mean, that's the usual rubber. If you've got any of the other figures, that's basically how it's going to look. So nothing amazing in terms of detailed weathering or anything like that on this figure, but all the creases in his clothing, the wrinkles, and the curvature of the sculpt does lend itself to capture the light to give you that nice detail, and the depth and highlights and shadows and highlights, I should say, to bring it to life, which is really nice. So for the articulation, we'll start with the head here, or at least the hair, and yeah, actually a really nice point of articulation on the hair, which is great. And then with the head as well, the neck will curve, and with the head tilting, he can get a nice amount of articulation out of his head. Going back as well, it's pretty decent. He can look out pretty naturally, which is nice. I mean, left and right a little bit there. Maybe you can pop his head off and adjust with peg, but it is quite a sharp oval shape, so that does hinder a little bit. But I mean, the swivel left and right is all good as well. Now for his actual top here, this will move up and down. It is on a peg and it can come off, so just keep that in mind. So it won't get in the way too much. So for the shoulder here, we have the butterfly joint, though it has a little bit more limited rotation there, but everything will move up and around pretty well. He has those sleeves, which is like a deep V, so depending on the angle, you may get a little bit of an ugly looking joint, but for the overall motion and movement, it is pretty nice. He can lift everything up and around without too much issue there. The elbow joint, he gets decent motion, but actually you can probably see it here a bit easier. It opens up quite a bit, so it's not the prettiest looking joint, unfortunately. But in terms of that, it does sweep in nicely, and it looks really nice when you have him in a pose that follows the flow of the design. Now moving over to the wrist peg, again it is just like your normal figure. Pops out of the sleeve pretty well, and we get the nice motion of going back and forward and swiveling around. So nothing too out of the ordinary there. So for the upper torso area, the articulation is definitely a bit more limited. He can angle his way back pretty well. That more combines with the lower hip area. And same for going forward. There is a little bit of motion there, but it's a little bit fiddly, and most of the motion will come in the lower, I guess, the hip waist area, but it isn't much. We do get some left and right swivel on the hip area, which is really nice, but overall the articulation of the top part of his body is definitely limited compared to most other figures, but going back, at least we do get a few millimeters of motion. Now coming down to the area which I believe everyone was worried about, I don't think anyone expected this figure to have any good articulation in the lower region, but check this out. He can basically do the full splits. This is super soft rubber. If we can peel it up, we can check underneath into the under area, and everything is really nice. We have the upper thigh swivel, the usual knee motion, which is really nice. And then since this is super soft, it doesn't hinder at all. It splits, so we can spread the legs out, and it doesn't pull it in like older figures, which is great. And then coming down to the lower leg, just above the ankle there we have a nice swivel, and then the ankle itself has that brand new Naruto style left and right tilt, and then we've got the toe action as well. You can go forward and back, so lots of room for articulation and motion here. So when you spread the legs out, you can tilt those feet down flat to get a nice natural looking pose going on. So switching over to the faces now, this is the base one that comes, got the subtle smirk. We've got some lines underneath the eyes there to bring forth the tired look that Geto has, and overall it is crisp and clean, though for the most part compared to some other figures, the detailing is a lot more, I guess, simple due to the character design. So next up is probably my favourite face actually, since we have the mouth subtly open. You can see some teeth there, a little bit of a pink from the gums, and the eyes are a little bit more rounded for a little bit more emotion coming through there, which is really cool. And one extra thing to point out, he does have his blue earrings as well. This is actually another great face. That smirk, it is just too good with that little wee flick of an eye there. It looks really good, and definitely a face of someone that you cannot trust. Or at least someone who's got some ulterior motives planning in the background. And then finally we have the subtle looking down to the right, slightly disinterested look, which is quite nice, and it can pair quite well with his right hand that is holding that, I want to say it's the cursed technique, or the cursed energy that he's, or the spirit that he's compressed. I think it's the Uzumaki ability, man, I'm drawing a blank. I need to go back and reread Jujutsu Kaisen. Definitely drop a comment below with what that one is called. Okay, so I switched over here, and it's just got a single peg in there, pop on and off, and it looks really cool with it flowing out the back there. I've also got the Playful Cloud weapon here, which is fantastic. As I mentioned before, it does have the metal for the chains here. So I mean, it's still pretty delicate, so do be careful, but it's a lot better than it being straight up plastic. And the painting on this thing looks fantastic. The separation for the black and red is awesome and looks absolutely wicked. Definitely going to be a really fun accessory to play with, and hopefully we'll get Maki coming out soon so we can mix and match between the figures, which would be, I don't know, something that I'm definitely looking forward to myself. Okay, so we've got the Geto and Yuta release here together, both from the movie. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend checking it out. It's definitely a lot of fun to watch. And if you've seen season 1 and you're about to get into season 2, eventually you will be introduced to this character. So it's worthwhile checking it out now. It'll definitely make things a little bit more easier to understand. Maybe you can watch it part way through season 2. It's going to be kind of split. There's a flashback first, and then it'll jump into the next main arc. So after that flashback, it is a good time to watch as well. But yeah, both of these videos looking good. So far, Yuta has been probably the top release, and I think Geto here might have actually dethroned him. He's just surprisingly fantastic. Amazing articulation. The overall aesthetic of him is looking good. He looks like he's straight out of a movie. The Playful Cloud weapon is it is just too good. I hope we get more weapons like this. We need some more for Megumi, and if we get Toji I think it is. He's got a nice selection of weapons, which would be great to get in the figure form as well. The flowing here is awesome. Just matching these two up together in a dynamic kind of battle arrangement is just going to be too fun to put in a showcase. At the moment, maybe a little hard to see, but on the far right I do have all the Jujutsu Kaisen releases so far. These two will definitely be taking center stage in the Jujutsu Kaisen display, just being able to pose, and they've got weapons, just they have a little bit more from the show that really brings them to life, especially when paired together. So yeah, that is it for the review. Oh, actually, sorry, I didn't say any cons, did I? You know, I guess the con, no open mouth screaming face, and maybe a little bit more detailing could have been nice, but it would have been hard due to all the rubber, and generally doesn't apply itself too well to that type of material. So yeah, actually, you know what? No big con besides the fact no additional face for the screaming one. I mean, articulation in the top chest could have been a bit better. But yeah, maybe I've got, you know, rose tinted glasses, since I was expecting a 5 out of 10 figure, and this is definitely up there, maybe an 8 or 9 out of 10. The low articulation has definitely blown me away. It's not something I expected at all, and it does give me a bit more hope for the Bleach lineup as well, since that is going to be another difficult figure, or a difficult line to get into figure form. But yeah, let me know in the comments below what you think about this release. Yay, nay, seeing the articulation, has it changed your mind to buying it or not? And yeah, what would be your pro and con for this figure? Just from looking at it, and if you also order it from Japan, you've got it in hand, let me know what you think as well. And yeah, the next release, hopefully, they've teased it, is Toro, and hopefully we'll get some more later this year when season 2 starts up. But yeah, so anyway, that is all for now. If you did like this new setup, please let me know in the comments below. If you're new to the channel, like, subscribe and all that, it really does help. And let me know how I could improve this setup if you do like the background, maybe a bit different lighting, maybe it's sound or there's an echo, anything like that. Just let me know and I can see what I can improve for future videos. So yeah, anyway, again, thank you very much for watching, and until next time, cheers.